Con, it's on.
All right, Shalom. We want to first start off giving all praises, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
double honor to the apostles and the elders of great millstone, and peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation Israel. This is the GMS Houston camp. We out here again to prophesy the downfall of America, which America is written of in the scriptures. Okay? And in hopes that, where these words fall on the ears of the elect, Let's start off with, before we go into it, let's start off with Matthew 10, 5, and 6. Because we out here to let all the nations know their judgment. Really, first and foremost, we out here to sit for the house of Israel through the scriptures. Go ahead.
It's Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. It says, These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right. So that started, Yahushua started the ministry way back over 2,000 years ago. And the ministry is still going up until the last days. The ministry was going to continue up until the end. We in the end. That same thing that Yahushua told the 12 to go do is what we out here doing. Okay? Read on.
It says, verse 7, And as ye go, preach, saying, The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
That was the last, that was it, right? Okay, that's good right there. So that's what we out here to do, to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Okay? Which, that's going to come at the end. Okay? Meaning the kingdom of heaven is going to be at hand when this man's society, okay, is at an end. Or coming to an end. And that's where we at in biblical prophecy. We at the end of this man's society. How do we know this? Based upon the prophecies. Bring that out.
Okay.
That's it, yeah.
Now you said the prophets, they still gonna be here, still gonna be a prophesying. And what proves that, Revelation 18, when it goes until after America get destroyed, which is known as the scriptures as Babylon the Great, that the apostles and the prophets gonna rejoice in that day, man. Which further proves you have apostles and prophets here as we speak, and Lord willing we amongst that. Hey, what is saying Acts 1 and 8? Yahushua said ye also go receive power unto the utmost
Yeah, let's
possible.
bring it out. Yeah, come on.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 8. Acts chapter 1 and 8, it says, I start at 7, it says, and he said unto them,
Start at 6.
6. This is the book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom of heaven to Israel?
Right, so and we are.
It says, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Right, and this was inquired of by Peter and the apostles. Okay? Or disciples, they became apostles. At this particular time, they were already apostles. Right? And they were inquiring, are you going to set up the kingdom now? But it wasn't time back then. That's why Yahushua going to go on and say this. Go ahead.
And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you. And ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem.
Right, over 2,000 years ago, back when they started, when this whole ministry got started, with Yahushua, and then after Yahushua, you reading this account, he went up to sit at the right hand of the Most, or Yahweh, and all the way back to that point up until now. Go ahead.
It says, and ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria. It says, and unto the uttermost part of the earth.
Right. So from the over there in the land of Israel, okay, the eastern side of the world, on the eastern hemisphere, they were going to start there and then preach into the uttermost part of the earth, which is what? Here. That's it. The western hemisphere of America. Mainly the Babylon the Great. Well, starting in Babylon the Great. That's where this word, that's where the word came out. Started at. As far as when we went to sleep or fell asleep through captivity. All right? And then when the Most High decided to put his spirit upon the pastors, according to Jeremiah 3:15, it started over up in New York. You know? You got something? Go ahead. And if you could, let's get Revelation 11 and 8. Yeah, the spirit go to where it listed. You bring your precept out first.
Oh no, just when it's Matthew 24 and 14, when it says with this gospel, you preaching to the.
Okay, yes, I get it.
You got it out.
I slap that. Matthew 24 and verse 15.
What 14?
14, Salaki. And it reads, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for the witness unto all nations. Mm-hmm. And then shall the end come.
That further proves the prophet got to be here, because Revelation 14 and 4 said only the 144,000 will be able to sing that new song. That's the gospel. So they have to be here today in order for the word to be pushed to the four corners. And now we're here in the end, like the other brother was saying, and we see it happening in the earth by way of the spirit of prophecy. He just mentioned how the spirit go up in this, right? The spirit of prophecy. Right. Ezekiel 37, that's go to the four corners.
Right. And I had, in my mind, I had another direction I wanted to go, but the spirit is going somewhere. The spirit is taking us somewhere else, so we got to go to the spirit. You got something? Yeah, go ahead.
This is James 1 verse 1. James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. Like how that precept came out. This gospel you read.
Say, back in Matthew 24 and verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for the witness to all the nations.
The gospel will be preached in all the world for witness on all nations, because our nation is scattered amongst all these other nations. You see, so the gathering is becoming all of Israel. I read in Leviticus 10. Scattered, the sheep that are scattered abroad, you see, because all Israel is scattered among all these nations.
Right, going all the way, really going back to the Babylonian captivity. Right. The Assyrian Babylonian captivity. That's when the scattering started, or the diaspora. Hey, since you brought out there, give 1 Peter 1 and 1. Maybe read the second verse. Because out of all the scattered Israelites, the whole nation is scattered upon this face of this earth, based upon the curses that fell upon us. Go to, we gotta get it. Deuteronomy 28:64 says we're gonna be scattered across the four corners of the earth, serving other gods of wood and stone. Roughly paraphrasing. Why? Because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments. So even during that time, when James, that epistle was written, he was talking to the scattered Israelites, right? To the 12 tribes scattered abroad. And that applies all the way up until today. Bring it out. Yeah.
This is 1 Peter 1 verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Yahushua Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, It says on verse 2.
Yeah, and now before you go to verse 2, yeah, we were up until this very day, once again, we are all scattered. Okay? Scattered out of our homeland, the land of Israel. And furthermore, what happened? We lost our identity through that, through captivity. Really coming over to this side of the world. You know, in our former captivities, we knew we were Israelites, but you know what? We didn't know, all of Israel didn't know they was Israelites during this time period, during the time period of Yahushua and the 12, Paul, you know. That scattering that's being talked about in 1 Peter are those Israelites. A lot of them are the Israelites that didn't know they were Israelites. You know?
And that's why they were considered by the Jews, the other Israelites to be Gentiles.
Right.
Circumcision.
Right.
Or uncircumcision.
Right. Being getting scattered, right? Through slavery and then following the practices of the other nations. Mainly at that point dealing with the Greek way of life and speaking the Greek language. Hey, and it happened to us. It happened to us here in these last days. You know, did the same thing. We lost our identity. We came up under the Greco-Roman fashion. You know, and we speak in a really it's a bastard tongue. They say that, you know, English is supposed to come from the Latin. But this is just a made up tongue, you know? Yeah.
Okay, from this 1 Peter 1 verse 2, it says, elect according to the foreknowledge of the Most High Father.
Right, the scattered Israelites, all right?
Right.
It's talking about the elect, though, not all of Israel. So we out here, like I mentioned at the start of the live street speaking, we out here in hopes that these words fall on the ears of the elect. If the you know, the whole 144 has been woken up, and that's the key, you know, because that's the leadership, that's the government body of the nation of Israel. It's important that you gotta, the Most High gotta gather the leaders first in order to rebuild this nation. And that's just the way the Most High wanted it to play out. Because the Most High can snap his fingers, so to speak, and clean us up and get us right, but then that'll be going against his word. You know? Go ahead out.
1 Peter 1 verse 2, elect according to the foreknowledge of the Most High Yahweh, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua Mashiach. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied.
That's a good verse, really saying a lot. You know? Because we was all sanctified through the word. You know, that's how we get 2 Peter 3:1. That's how our memory was jogged, so to speak. And we were woken up to the fact that we were Israelites through the prophets bringing out the word. Bring that in. That will bring that out before you get the precept. Give Romans 10 and 17.
It's 2 Peter 3:1. It says, this second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance.
Yeah. By what? Who was Paul doing? He was preaching. Well, this is Peter. All right, Salaki. Peter was prophesying. That's what the Lord told him to do. And the 12, he said, go and preach. And as you go, preach In other words, prophesy saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Yes.
Because the kingdom didn't come, it ain't came yet. So what is the kingdom coming is prophecy.
Yep.
You know?
And with Peter's the head of that leadership.
Yeah,
That's what he's talking about. That's why he was the first one to go to Cornelius. 'Cause he, like King David, you always mention that when King David, that's when all the that's going back to the scattering across the four corners. Through this word, it begins that, you know. It says, by your pure minds, by way of remembrance, that ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandment of us the apostles of the Lord and Savior.
that's it.
Yep. And read that one more time, Mark.
2 Peter 3:2, it says that ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandments of us the apostles of the Lord and Savior.
Which shows that the Old Testament is real.
Right.
So that's where the prophets was at.
Exactly. Yeah. What was Yahushua and the apostles going by? When they was preaching, they wasn't out there coming out there. I mean, the Most High could have just put he put the wisdom in Yahushua. Yahushua knows it all, you know. But the disciples had to get what? They had to get the being a disciple means they had to come up under a discipline of what? Teachings. That's what discipline goes. That's what the word discipline goes into. Coming up under a set of rules and regulations, man, of teachings. Okay? Or let me say it again. Sorry about that. Coming up under a particular set of teachings. Okay, and that's what Yahushua did. He taught them. He wrote down what the Old Testament was talking about, especially concerning him coming on the scene.
Yes.
Where we at? Okay, but I wanted this. Okay, we was about our Second Peter by stirring up our, our minds by our pure minds by way of remembrance. Real quick, get Jeremiah 17:4. Because we're going into the fact that we lost our way, lost our identity, and lost our heritage, which our identity is part of our heritage. Bring it up.
This Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Right. What is our heritage? Our heritage is that we're Hebrew Israelites from our different respective tribes. Our heritage is our land. Okay? Our heritage is the law, statutes, and commandments. The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures, that's our heritage. To have the understanding of these scriptures. You know? That was good on that.
It says, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger which shall burn forever.
Right, so that's why we lost it. That's why we lost everything. We lost it all.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because we pissed the Most High off. So through Yahushua, we now able to, we coming back into getting in good standards with the Most High.
Right.
And we still can't go directly to Yahweh.
Right.
We got to go through the Son.
That's right.
Right.
So bring that out real quick.
This is Romans chapter 10 and verse 17. It says, so then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High.
Right, so being lost spiritually, dead, spiritually dead, not knowing, none of us knew who the hell we were. We thought we was blacks. That's just the color. We didn't, our people don't know, we did just like we didn't know the definition of words, the etymology of words. A nigga don't know what the word race means or nationality, but they'll be quick to try to debate you and get deep with you know? So we had to come back to our nationality through what? Through hearing the word, through the faith we believe, or another word for belief is faith, that we are the Israelites. You know? And we got to come back to the Heavenly Father through His Son. That's the only way. You had a precept? Y'all bring your precepts out.
It's Baruch 4 verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Most High Yahweh to rest.
Yep.
You were delivered unto the enemies.
Right, and what did they do? Really, what did our main enemy, Esau, what did he do? He the one the Most High used to strip us of our nationality. Just like back during the time of the Greek Empire. That's when we first lost knowledge of, the first time period we lost knowledge of the fact we were Israelites. Okay, through Esau. Especially through a man by the name of Antiochus Epiphanes. Antiochus IV. Yeah, that's good.
It's 2 Maccabees 6.
What is the scripture?
It's 6 verses.
Yeah, you can read the 6 verses.
The 2 Maccabees 6 and 1. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man to Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
Hold on, where you at?
2 Maccabees 6 and
Okay. Bring that out, then go to the first chapter.
It's 2 Maccabees 6 and 1. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple Jupiter Olympus, and that in garrison of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, and they did desire that dwelt in the place. It says, the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles. It says, by the Gentiles who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful, as such as our swine. And it says, the altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So you weren't able to profess yourself to be a Jew or an Israelite, in what you had to be. But this is the time of the Greeks, right? Now what you're saying as Jerome do as Jerome. So as the Greeks was ruling, you had to be like the Greeks, man. Just like today, we was Americanized, Americanization. The same thing, so they couldn't call themselves Jews, step away from their laws, therefore they became Greeks. That's why Apostle Paul was pushing a message after the Greek Empire to tell them, you look, you're not Greeks, y'all Israelites. And that's the same thing we hear going today, telling our people, you're not Americans, blacks, y'all Israelites. You know? The 2 Maccabees 1.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. 11. Started 11. And man, I lost my train of thought. That's all right. Bring the script started, it'll come back. First Maccabees, I'm sorry.
Now this first Maccabees 1 and 11, it says, in those days, when there...
I was gonna say this back when it'll come back to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
First Maccabees 1 and 11.
Oh, I got it. No, so that first generation that had been forced to leave off from their ways because it was two different ways that Israel went off. You had certain, which we about to bring out, certain Israelites were persuaded by the leadership to follow the way of the Greeks. You know, and then it got to a point to where it became unlawful to be Israelite. Ain't that something? Illegal to be your nationality. You know? So the generation that came up later came up believing they were Greeks. So by the time Yahushua got on the scene, some centuries had passed. Okay? You're going to look at the time of you can go to the time of the Ptolemies and the Seleucid Empire. You know, up until the time of Yahushua coming on the scene. That's a lot of time that passed.
And would it take a generation to pass to lose knowledge?
Right. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere up in that ballpark. So we was all the way gone.
Yeah. Even in this time, we were gone.
Oh,
Hey, just we look at our people, man, and like, we gone, man. And the Most High did it intentionally.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. Where we in the scriptures? First Maccabees.
First Maccabees 1 and 11. In those days when there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. And whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathens, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
yeah.
See? So they taught their children, and that generation taught their children that they were Greeks, and this is the way of life. And this is the language where I grew up, this is the language.
This is Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. He said, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there is
Right,
still...
where's the place that it was said unto us that we not the chosen people of the Most High? Right here in Babylon the Great, United States of America.
Hear that.
Land of the oppressed and home of the
Oh,
Wow.
Lord. Depression and oppression.
Right.
Which they normally go hand in hand.
And we found out over here, read it again now.
Go back to Hosea, chapter 1, we start at verse 10 at the top. He said, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered, and it shall come to pass that in the place...
That's prophecy. This is prophecy right here. It shall come to pass. Go ahead.
that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. And that's,
No, I'm sorry, brother.
No.
Yeah, read it one more time. It's a lot.
right.
It
say, Hosea 1, chapter 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people,
How is it told us that we are not the Most High people? We were considered. They were still to this day. What 3/5 of a man?
Yeah.
How could that be the prince of
Right.
the king? You know, because Israel in the Hebrew is Yasharala. It means he's the prince of power.
Yes.
Or he's the prince of God. All right. What's another way? Through the bywords and proverbs.
Yep.
Getting called Afro-Americans, African-Americans. How many goddamn names, we gonna come up under?
Yeah. Black.
You know,
Negro.
Colored.
Colors.
Right.
Yep,
in a way when y'all was black.
yep.
Y'all was black.
And now we out here telling our people we not them bywords.
Right.
We are the tribes of Israel.
Right.
You know? Now if you know the history, it shouldn't be something astonishing. Like, what the hell y'all talking about, y'all the Israelites?
Right.
You know? We heard it and we believe.
Yes, indeed.
But let's real quick get Ephesians 2 and 8. And we'll go back to let's start Ephesians. Then we can go give a root out.
It's Ephesians.
But hey, it's a lot of jakes from the entertainment level of
Yeah.
so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all the way down to the so-called common Israelite. Jake is waking up.
Yes.
Even the ones that they don't fully understand what this is about.
Right.
They at least get the fact that they're Israelites.
And they voice it.
Yeah.
They letting it be known. Even like the brother said, even all the way down to Jake find out a lot of Jake find out they Israelites. That's all they do with it is find out that they are. But they gonna tell everybody they know.
Right.
Yeah.
They can't keep nothing under their hat.
And you know the ministry.
No, I was just gonna say they're still gonna be eating shrimp.
Right, right.
Stuff like that. They're still gonna be partaking in birthdays, Christmas, and all that stuff. But they're just them knowing that they're Israelites. That's as far as they go.
Yeah, Kodak Black, no, he is.
How many people you think they sitting around running their mouth, doing whatever they do, and they start talking about this stuff?
Yeah.
This is like this. Now this is the leader of people. Like if you're an entertainer, you can have a bunch of underlings up under you.
Yes.
Because you got the money, right?
Yep.
Floyd Mayweather,
Yep.
Kanye West.
Anthony came out.
Well,
Dwight Howard came
yeah,
out.
Big Sean.
Stoudemire.
Yeah, so this is not so it was a point in time where us talking about we the Israelites, it did sound like way far-fetched to the masses, but now, even though Jake ain't taking it serious, the information about we the Israelites is not uncommon to hear about.
Yeah.
At all, Ephesians 2 and 8, you brought that out already? Yeah, go ahead.
It's Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 8. For by grace are we saved through faith, and that not of ourselves, it is the gift of the Most High.
Right, so I brought that out to show that everybody not gonna get the faith. Everybody not gonna get the gift of faith. And how the faith comes, we read it by hearing. Hearing and hearing by the word of the Most High. Or Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh. Okay? That's how the faith is activated, so to speak. hearing this word. But our people heard it, because the scripture say our song went in all the earth.
That's right.
Didn't it? Did it not? Through the what? Internet.
Yep, yep.
So
Yes.
our voice went out. So everybody that heard this word, but everybody not gonna believe it.
Right,
Well, everybody concerning all of Israel.
right.
Like that was on we were just saying, this is Romans 11, verse 7. Still what? Israel had not attained which he seeketh for, but
Read it
the
again.
it's like Romans 11, verse 7. Still,
Go ahead.
Romans 11 and verse 7. What then? Israel had not attained that which he seeketh for, but the election had attained it, and the rest were blind.
Yeah, why would we be seeking in the first place? Because we lost something. When you're seeking for something, you're trying to find, you're on the search to find something.
Yeah,
So what is this thing that Israel is seeking for? The truth.
that's right.
Who we were. You know, you got a lot of Israelites, probably not these generations coming up, but, you know, at a point in time, you wondering, like, who am I?
Yes.
You know?
What is this all about?
Yeah, I was always curious about before slavery.
Yeah.
What were we doing before they got us?
Yes. Other than the little shit they teach us in school, like everything just started from getting put on slave ships and getting over
Right.
here, and that was it. That's all we knew.
Right.
And then white folks, it was number white folks before that ran the whole world. Shit crazy.
Right. Then yeah, we was wondering, man, why we catching hell? Why is,
Yeah.
you know, why even if, you know, because you have not all, most of Israel is doing bad over here. You have some Jakes that's doing okay. Different, coming from different walks of life, but the family is all in disarray.
Yes.
All this stuff going on.
Yes.
No matter how we all came up, we wondering like, why is it, even if you was may have been doing okay on a monetary level, but you're looking at your people, you're looking at man, we messed up out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then when you grow up as a man in the society, you see how you don't get a fair shake,
Yep.
everything is corrupt.
Yep.
What the hell is going on?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Why they fucking with me? Why they fucking with us?
Right.
Yeah.
Then be like, damn, this is, I guess this just the way it's
You
gonna
just
be.
see it, huh?
And we found out through what? Through the scriptures, through faith, the reason why all this is happening to us. The reason why we don't know who the hell we was. Got more on it?
This Baruch 5 and 5. It says, "Arise, O Jerusalem, and stand on high, and look about toward the east, and behold, thy children come gathered from the west unto the east, by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the remembrance of the Most High."
Yeah, so the gathering started over here. The gathering started from the west. All right. The proof is there. It started up in New York.
Con.
With going back to a man by the name of Albert Bivens. Rabbi, I believe the correct title at the time was Rabbi Bivens, if I'm not mistaken. King Masha, Elder High Priest Ariah, you know, and that leadership, and then on down to our apostles, the Great Millstone. And that's when they got on the internet, on the YouTube, that's when this thing really opened up and took off. That's when this thing went international.
Right.
That's when the truth of the scriptures went international. You know?
Because you were saying about our forgiveness and which is our apostle. This is what they're talking about. Malachi 4 and 5. It says, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
What's the great and dreadful day of the Lord? The time that we're in these last days. You know? And that's what the Most High did. He sent us the prophet Elijah. There's no other spiritual explanation of how this was fulfilled before we know the great and dreadful day is here. All these prophecies popping out.
Yes.
You know? And that great and dreadful day, especially looking at it from the time, or operating from the Most High's time, or the Most High time, going back to 1969, that's not a long time.
No.
Not even for us, but in the spiritual realm, that's milliseconds.
Right.
You know? So before this man go down in the great destruction, the Most High was going to send the prophet Elijah, all right? To what? Put the spirit on him to wake us up. Because Elijah is he is like he's the representation of the prophets. He's like the icon, so to speak, for the prophets. The House I said he is the greatest prophet. There's no greater prophet born amongst women. Right? Moses is supposed to represent the law. Elijah represents the prophets. Okay. And where we was at?
And it says, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children.
See that? What's that? Talking about being woken up. Turning the minds. Read that again, huh?
It says, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
Right. Wake us up to the fact that we are Israelites.
Yep.
Coming out of a Gentile state of mind. Jake is, our people are satisfied with the condition of this planet.
Right.
And they really not. Jake is sick and tired of this shit, you know? But they think this is the only way. Like, if America don't exist, but this place stops, then life is over. Well, this ain't life anything.
Exactly.
This is not living.
Right.
This is what you call captivity still.
Hell.
How you living in captivity? Yeah, you breathing, but you're not really living life.
Yeah, hell no.
Yeah, you will still get that in Baruch 3 and 8. We'll get this that Baruch 3 and 8.
Yeah.
We'll get this day in our captivity. Yeah, we'll get this day. We're still in captivity. Captives of the mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mentally got the mental shackles on.
Yeah.
Spiritual shackles on our mind.
Yep.
Concerning the nation, you know.
Yep. That's the worst kind of slave. Well, not for the slave owner, but for the people. You don't even know you a slave, but you a
Right.
slave.
That's how you know you locked up in the mind.
Gone.
You're a prisoner. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And the Lord said that he will bind that yoke of iron on us until we have been destroyed. So once that happened, we was already messed up in the mind to an extent, you know?
Yeah. That's the whole thing. Shackle, we want to get them to the point where we don't have to shackle them up.
Exactly.
They be good, perfect little slaves.
Yep.
That's not gonna run away. If first run away, they gonna have Stockholm syndrome.
Yep. That's why these niggas that come up, like we talk about what's the dude that play football, the quarterback, the young Jay.
Roger.
No, who? The one that said he ain't dabbing no more.
Roger.
He used to play for North Carolina.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. Why would you still be playing football? King James. Why is you still playing basketball?
Right.
Why? Why are you still here?
Right. And you know, for that fame,
Yes.
for that boy that's inside of us, you know,
That same
it ain't for the money. They
Yeah.
got plenty money, you know.
Come on.
It ain't for the money, but they get that good feeling of, you know,
They looking at me.
that fame. They was bringing, I forget who it was. Somebody was bringing out the information about these athletes. Well, they was really going into like rappers more so, but this applied to athletes, professional athletes, actors and actresses and all that stuff. The main reason, yeah, they getting the money, so they in it for the money. But once you get up there to where you didn't got money and you can make investments and
Yes.
generate money, what's driving you to stay in being in the limelight, so to speak?
Yes.
Being famous.
Yes.
Being famous becomes more important than the money.
Yeah, Jay-Z said that. He say fame is the worst drug known to man.
And fame go back to family. You can go out into the word.
Yes.
So when you seeking fame, that's because you empty inside.
Yes.
See, through this word we'll feel,
Yes.
you know? Money can't satisfy this emptiness.
Exactly.
That emptiness, I'm sorry.
Because even if you have millions of dollars, you know this truth. Them millions of dollars is not going to satisfy you, man. Okay? Nothing in this world can satisfy us. Because at the end of the day, even if you got a lot, you're still here. Your people is still gone. We still not in rulership. But you got some trinkets, some cars and houses, and then what?
The nigga, I seen it on my YouTube feed, shit, Young Thug, the rapper dude, he couldn't get on the, he got kicked off the plane. Off his little, so not his, a private jet,
Yeah.
you know?
Then they sit there in the interview, Gunner, the other guy, talking about, well, you know, we rich, so we got friends with planes. So we just had to call somebody else to get another plane. That ain't the point.
Nah, that's Jake lying, by the way. But nah, go ahead. Yeah, Jake lying because they was really,
We gotta get
right.
there.
So what you were saying?
Oh,
That ain't
the point is, you still ain't ruling nothing.
Right.
You ain't running shit.
They talking about that, you know, how people talk about their kings and
Right.
gods and all this. You know, and new on the East Coast, they like, what's up, God? Yo, God, all that, yo, God, this. They like to call each other kings. Well, look, man, we ain't got that status.
We not there.
We not there. We're coming.
Yeah.
Gods and kings on this earth are coming.
Coming.
Right.
We ain't there yet. Let's go. What we do have. Still in the booth. Okay. Huh? Oh, about the, oh, yeah, okay. Well, let's
say?
Baruch 3 verse 8, Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, for thou hast scattered us for a reproach.
Hey, well, where the Most High has scattered us for a reproach. Go ahead.
And a curse, and to be subject to payment.
Right, and you can see that we are cursed. When even when a nation look at us, they can see that, man, them people are clogged up. I mean, yeah, because now that we have awakened to this truth, that we used to be caught up into it, and even we got what is it called? Accustomed to it.
Yeah,
It was normal for us to see the disarray of our people.
Yeah.
Even though we can constantly see that, damn, we in a jacked up situation, you know, it was just normal to witness all this. You know?
Your gunshots.
Yeah, all this madness that go on with Jake, all the crazy, the craziness that goes on in our lifestyles, how we was living, it's just normal. It's just a way of life. We know it's messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake glorified. The worse your hood is, or the environment that you live in, the more crime infested, the more drug infested, the more ratchet, like Jake like to say, the harder you are and the harder your hood is, that's put up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Shit. I'm from Chirac, the murder capital. It was a point where Jake was bragging about the murder capital. It was New Orleans, the murder capital.
Right.
Like that was something to brag about.
Right.
People get put to death.
Young people, and that's the thing. It ain't the other nations.
Right.
It's your own people. It's your own brothers. You know? And what is that? So all this is what? The curses.
Yes.
Us looking crazy on the planet Earth, murdering each other. We already on the bottom. We killing each other,
Yes.
sleeping with each other's women,
Yep.
worshiping all these. We a nation divided. And we gotta say that old stupid ass pledge of allegiance. When I say nation divided, I'm talking about understanding what the word nation means.
Yeah.
Israelites. Israelites, we are divided in a different philosophy, under different philosophy. Only nation that's like that.
Yep.
To that degree, yeah, you got that going on within other nations, but not nowhere near like Israelites.
Right.
Israelites are in the Christianity, in the Islam,
Yep.
in the whatever they want. There's no togetherness. Yeah, black, yeah, that Pan-Africanism and Kemet and all that old
Yes.
garbage. You know, there's no togetherness. There's no common denominator. Yeah, it's a common denominator. Being a damn Babylonian,
Right.
celebrating all these so-called holidays, you know. But as far as really standing on some integral morals and, you know, having true culture, there is none.
Earlier when we were speaking on this, how Gentile state of mind progression, different generations. It's the same thing that we're talking about right now. Like Jake is saying, this is just the way of life. Throughout every generation, it's been getting worse. So this is all Jake knows.
Right. And they're saying all that. Everybody, I mean, we can see it. So imagine us that's growing up in it and it's just normal. Like people on the outside looking in and looked at that movie Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood.
Yes.
Right.
They
Yes.
just thought that shit was going on 24/7 all the time. So they like, whoa.
Stay away from them niggas. Shit.
What you got out?
I was gonna make a point to go with the brother. It's to the point where you can bring out the scriptures and go into how we are gonna have a kingdom and be, rose up and living a better life. But you know what I'm saying, they can't see it because they so accustomed to how it is now.
Right.
You
That's far. When we talking about it, far-fetched. It's out of this world. It's a metaverse, according to the meaning of the word. We talking about something. We all talking about something beyond this planet.
Yes.
We talking about the impossible. Let's go back to the scripture.
I start from the top.
We are the impossible with men. How about Yahweh?
Baruch 3 verse 8, Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, for thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse.
Means the curses we're going to show in the earth on the Israelites. Now we get brought over here on ships.
Yep.
And even the Latin tribes got put on ships.
Yep.
Not to the degree of the so-called Negroes. Okay? And now we murdering each other at alarming rates.
Yep.
You know? The scriptures say that we should be stricken with madness.
Wild
Oh, meaning bugged out of our minds.
Go.
Nothing like what we're going through, no other nation have been through. What we're going through is clear to other nations. You know, that
It's
is
something. How can they be this gone in the mind, this depressed and oppressed, you know, and doing all these amazing things at the same time?
Yeah. They on both ends of the spectrum.
Right,
They jumping out the gym and they street sweeping.
right. And then their children want to be like us.
Yes. Yes.
The nation's children want to be like us
Yeah.
because we bring flavor to the earth.
Yes.
You know, we just messed up right now as a nation. But we're in the process through the remnant, through the spirit of your power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Yakakudat, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay? The Most High is cleaning up the nation with that remnant pushing out this word and getting built up to lead this world. That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
You know? Well, shit. You want this man to stand? Jay do. Jay
Show
want this
right.
man to
He
stand?
show do.
Go ahead, Al.
this Daniel 9:12. And he have confirmed this word which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem.
See that? That's a good scripture. Yeah. So, what's been done to the nation of Israel hadn't been done to no other people. Talking about on the magnitude of how it was done to them.
Right.
You know, they got a saying that the transatlantic slave trade, darkest time in history. Ain't that something? Out of all the bad and horrible, because other nations went into captivity, all nations went into captivity, but not nearly as on the level as how it happened to the nation of Israel.
Right.
Fire away.
There they go.
Talk about the curses. This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee.
And pursue thee and overtake thee. So the curse was on our ass. No matter how much we trying to teach, they trying to run from the curse. We all try to run from the curse.
Yeah.
We trying to get out of these sticky situations.
This is a sticky situation.
You know?
It's sticky.
Well, we not. We trying to, man, that's why Jay get money and they leave out of the hood. Yeah, they rap about the hood and it's all good in the hood, but they know it's not. That's why they leave.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Unless you see murder.
Yeah.
Then look what happened.
So the shit.
He got murdered, the other one is still in prison. Trying to keep it real.
Right. We were trying to run from the curses, even in the form of looking to a leader to get us out of this situation.
Yep.
You know? Trying to find a way to get, we had all these little things we trying to get, situated better in the arena of economics.
Yeah.
You know? And that ain't work. All these, Martin Luther King Day is on Monday.
That's, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering, I heard something about the parade. I couldn't even think.
Martin Luther King Day is on Monday. What was that whole thing about? Civil
Right.
rights.
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
Ain't it?
The right to be, to receive,
Amongst the,
the right to receive, or to be treated in a civil manner.
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
Ain't it? Yeah. And still don't get it.
And still ain't got it to this day. You know?
And by the time he figured out what was going on, they popped his ass.
Right, when they, let him in and he felt bad about what
Yeah.
he did, when they let him in on the information, right. So we was trying to figure, and to this day, Jake still running from the curses, trying to, but the curses is in high pursuit. Y'all, he's like,
That's R. Kelly. R. Kelly couldn't run.
You hear him feel caught?
Yeah.
Sammy Davis Jr. ran for white boys. They still got his ass on taxes. Red Fox.
Right.
Richard Price.
what's the good, wasn't Joe Lewis, he went out bad, I believe.
Yeah, the boxer.
The box.
What was the one from Dallas?
Jack
Jack Johnson. Yeah, they set up whole laws pertaining to him trafficking white women across state lines.
Yeah, when you look at the state of Israel right now, you can see that we are overcome people. And the Most High set it up that way because we went out. We've been overcome, but now we're coming up out of that state through the hopeful elect. The hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. You got something? Okay.
He said, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
Right, and what does the word destroy mean? Meaning to tear down the structure, basically.
Yes.
All right, so our structure is supposed to be that we Hebrew Israelites, knowing who we are, and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, because that's the way we're supposed to live on this planet Earth. And by them rules, okay, by them laws. But through Esau, the Most High put the spirit on his bastard. He destroyed us. And really, the destruction came from the Most High, but he used his sword to cut us down. No?
Yep.
Because right now, I said often, it don't look like the nation of Israel is gonna, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are gonna rule this planet.
Right. No.
So we speaking to the corner, what we're speaking to the corner mind, it sounds insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people on the reservation, the people in the ghettos,
Them crazy niggas out there on the street.
yeah, them, the ones that filled up in the prison system,
Right.
the ones with 1 foot cut off laying in the hospital bed on the respirator.
Right.
No
Ones
way.
rapping about
Yes.
and singing about nothing.
Oh, Lord.
Like seriously, what are R&B artists and whatever,
Yeah.
what people that sing,
Entertainment.
what are they talking about? Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
Sleep with somebody's line.
Yeah. Men are begging, the singers they're begging
Big.
and saying sorry to whores.
Big
That's
time.
what's going on. All go back to the 60s. All that music in the 60s, they was crying and screaming about women. They women. A lot of them cheated women and cheated on them. And what the women is doing, they talking shit against the man.
Yes. And promote whore, being a whore.
Right. Then you get into the rap language, they ain't talking about nothing but that.
Nothing but
Selling drugs, being a witch,
Yeah.
killing their brother and sleeping and committing adultery.
yeah.
And eating abomination. Go ahead and finish off that.
Until thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not into the voice of Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he had commanded. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Right. And you got a lot of jakes that question God and say that question is their God.
Yeah.
That's how destroyed we became. Because if there's a God, this is. See, if you in Christianity, you should question this loving God. And this
Yeah,
God is
it's,
so loving.
it's not working.
What's going on? Right. This Christian stuff is not working. You know?
Yeah.
And they lie to them damn selves. Or, okay, well, I gotta sell out to do good in this society.
Yeah.
When Jake start thinking that they get a good job and things start happening on that end, then they being blessed.
Yeah.
Now you ain't blessed, but you still gotta take your black ass to work.
Exactly.
Pay taxes.
And while you at work, you worrying about that woman.
Yeah.
And your children are unruly.
Yep.
And you get the shit taxed out of it.
Yeah, Jake wondered, well damn, I mean, anybody in their right mind should think, well damn, this God, great and loving God, and his son died for us and came to do these great things, and look at us. Something is wrong with something is wrong with this picture.
They got churches all in the hood. It's a church on every other block. And when you go to the hood, it's churches all in the hood. Literally.
Yeah, like literally like every other block.
Yes.
In a lot of cases.
And that's them so-called Christian pastors mainly in the hoods milking them false preachers.
Right.
Milking our people for what little that they got left, man.
Right.
That's why you see a lot of Jakes now, they flocking on that Afrocentric shit, or they just call themselves spiritual.
Yeah, they
So
spiritual.
instead of them acknowledging that none of this shit that you done tried is working, now it's just affirmations every day. Look at this, fuck, as soon as you see 1111, oh, affirmation, this, no, you full of shit. You deceiving yourself and telling you you're in a situation that you're not in, man.
Yeah.
Right. You would think with all in so-called churches, you know, all that preaching going on.
All that Jesus.
Man, I used to watch some of them that see that look like they were devout Christians. You know, the ones that went to church on Sunday, went to both services. They went to the early morning service.
Yeah, both of them.
Went to the other service. Were going to Bible study. Were going to this, that, and the third at the church. Stayed at the church.
In the choir. Yeah. A deacon, yeah.
That person should be a change, a truly born again Christian.
Yeah. And prosperous in this world.
You say you're born again or you're a changed person, but you do the same shit. We all came up in this Christianity, man. You go in there, you talk about you get baptized, you holler and scream on Sunday, and you do the exact same shit you were doing prior to you so-called being baptized.
Yeah.
There's no change. Go ahead and bring it up. Or you have something about it?
Oh, live this guy.
Okay, go ahead.
It's Jeremiah 23 and 21. It says, I have not sent these prophets, yet they reign. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesy.
So even dealing with these so-called pastors, and they call themselves preachers,
Yeah.
which they really not deserving of any titles, you know. But they'll tell you that they the voices of God.
Yeah.
One day,
God came to me and told me this. And,
The Lord
Right?
don't want you to do this. He wants you to do that. All that talk shit. And they all got the same little way they preach. And all that shit, man.
Yeah.
Just mainly to get in them fucking women's emotions, and the men gonna follow behind them goddamn women, man.
coming up, like the scripture say in Isaiah 30, they like speaking smooth.
Con.
So you go to, I did this on the where I went to a Edomite church. I don't remember if it was Catholic or, I don't remember what, no, it wasn't a Catholic church, I'm sure of that, but it was I forget the denomination, but the church was, it had no salt in there, it was bland. Even the singing was just, it was whack, man. I was like,
You went to church where I went when I was growing up? When I went to the Catholic church, there was no salt. None. They mimicked everything Esau did. The same songs, other than We Shall Overcome.
see, that ain't gonna get you, Jake. So you need smooth speaking,
Yeah.
Right.
smooth talking niggas up there. That old pastor, he'll get you going, boy.
Yeah. Shit.
He'll get you
He
going.
is a motivator.
Yeah, you'll leave out of there on
Yeah.
Sunday feeling like you can change the world.
Shit.
Hey, Salaki, but I used to hear this all the time. Like you'll hear people say, I like the way he you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
talk.
the
I like
way
the way
he
he,
preach.
you know what I'm saying, because he putting on the show.
That's what
Exactly.
they do. They don't come and tell you, man. I always used to do that, man. Like early in the truth, once I got out of that stage of trying to cut and rebuke everybody and shit, I didn't ask people. They told I came back from church. Oh, what you learned? They was like, oh, well, it was good. They were singing good today. Ain't never
No
talked about
scripture.
what
Right.
they learned. No scriptures. Nothing. It's always then, like the brother said, they start bigging up the pastor. Oh, Pastor so-and-so, man, he be going in. Should he let you come as you are?
Yeah, that's the big thing right there. You can dress. You don't gotta dress up at this church. Coming in regular.
Yeah.
And every pastor relates to you. Yeah, I was
Long as
from
your
the
buddy-
streets. Every pastor from the streets. I was on drugs. I was drinking. I was fornicating.
It still is.
Right.
Go back to that in Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 23 and 21. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. Verse 22. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, then they should have turned them from their evil way and from the doing and from the evil of their doings.
Right. But real quick, we gonna get that Jeremiah 15. But yeah, so that's how we know this doctrine that we're teaching is the truth. Because what? It turned us from our evil way. And then going back to what we were talking about earlier, you would think all these churches in the hood, so to speak, you know, and even this period all over, you would think this would be a changed society, huh?
Yeah.
This
All these
supposed to be a Christian
Christians.
nation, huh?
All this swearing on Bibles and
Right.
Why
Yeah.
is the murder rate and all the crime increasing? This is a Bible-based country. It should have some type of high morals and integrity. According to the scriptures.
Especially amongst us,
Yes.
Israelites.
because we the ones back to church.
We should be clean,
Yeah.
walking straight
Yes.
on this planet, man.
Yeah,
walking
good.
in
Float.
walking in the word.
Spike Lee said.
But yeah, they not dealing with the scriptures up in them part of
Right.
They're not dealing with the truth.
That's right.
That's how we know this is the truth. We know this is the counsel of the Most High because there's no way you can come up out of the ways of this world without Yahweh outside to get through all this
Exactly.
confusion. You know? Got something?
This is Ezekiel chapter 13 and verse 1. He said, the word of Yahweh came unto me and saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesied, and say thou unto them that prophesied out of their own hearts.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's what our the leadership of our people is notorious for.
Yes.
They just coming out of their mind with whatever, whatever smooth words they want to come with.
Yes.
You know, they not bringing out or breaking down these scriptures or the correct way anyway.
He said, hear ye the words of Yahweh. Thou shalt say, Yahweh power, woe unto you foolish prophets that follow your own spirit and have nothing.
A prophet do what? Prophesy. Prophesy what? Telling you what thus said Yahweh Shem Yahushua, what's coming down the pipe, man. Telling you that there's a charagma coming. That a charagma is here and it's going to be fully implemented. A third world war is coming to end all wars, man. The Lord is coming back to bring judgment and bring death and destruction
Yeah,
upon earth.
now he's not gonna have peaches and cream.
No. Total opposite.
Yeah, he's not coming with have a ice cream party, man.
Yeah.
They think he coming back with spoons and ice cream, man.
Yeah.
No.
People believe in a there's gonna be a so-called rapture, but not in the sense that y'all know it through this
Right,
false
right.
Christianity that
Right.
we, man.
7-year tribulation.
Yeah,
all
all
that.
that. Man, please.
All right. It's gonna be a time of tribulation, and the elect is gonna get delivered out of that,
That's right.
and that's it.
That's right.
And the kingdom is gonna
Yep.
be set up.
Yep. Yep.
Tribulation period. Man, that whole doctrine is, man.
And that's another thing. 7 years, okay, well, that's on their 7th year at midnight. You looking at the clock, well, it's gonna be over.
Right.
Nah, man.
Right. And then okay, the Lord come get some of the chosen. And then there's a 7-year tribulation period, and if you happen to not bow to the Antichrist within the seven years, then he gonna come back again and get the
Where
rest.
do the scriptures say the Lord gonna come back twice? He gonna
Right,
come
right.
back, chill out, get whoever leave, and then come back in 7 more years.
Third coming.
Oh,
Right.
okay. On the third day he rose. That's what it's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, they try to use the prophecy that go talk about the 70 weeks and all of that, which we're not even going into, but to justify the 7-year tribulation shit. Anyway, which y'all brother go?
This is Jeremiah 5:30. It say, a wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. And my people love to have it so. You see, that's the problem, man. The 2/3 of our people that's into that, man, they like to have it like that, man. They want to hear Pastor Price. They want to hear Murder Mace preaching. I mean, man, for real. You know, they want to hear these false prophets and they smooth things, man. And then the last line say, and what will you do in the end thereof? Get destroyed.
Yeah, when they listen to their pastors, what they hearing from them don't require no action. They don't require no correction. They can just continue going on with whatever the hell they was doing after they listened to this eloquent sermon, man.
Right, because they lead them. They're steady leading them in the same path, which is the path of darkness.
Yep.
The blind leading the blind.
Yep.
You know? Because why? They not saying stop celebrating Christmas.
Right.
That's not in the scripture.
That's right.
Christmas ain't in the scripture.
Right.
Right. Christmas is not a high holy day.
Celebrating New Year's is not in the scriptures. Buying fireworks, that's not scriptural.
Exactly.
Letting them off on the New Year, that's not
At midnight.
right.
Why would a day end at 12 o'clock, 12 a.m.? Why would a day end?
It started at 12:01.
That don't make no sense. In the middle of the night.
Right. Esau is backwards. He's against the Most High.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, they not telling the people telling our people to stop following the way we done came up. It's
Right.
not right. That's not in the scriptures. See, none of this way of life is not the way the Most High intended for us to live.
Right.
You know? That's why this bastard know he came with this book because he know this is the standard.
Yes.
You know? That's why in 1983 they declared that the year of the Bible, the declaration that the Bible is supposed to be the law of the
Right.
land.
Yep.
You see? That's why they had the president. They use this book. They know this book whole way. But yet they can't. It's not in them to keep this way. Yet they wouldn't fit being the Esau, the Edomites. Y'all, whatever y'all got.
Jeremiah, Jeremiah 3 verse 15.
Yeah, bring that out.
Okay, come. This is Jeremiah 3 verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, but shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
Right, which you don't get. See, Christianity don't give you that.
Right.
Neither does any of these other so-called religions. What's that? Kimmy, you don't get no understanding out of that. All you get out of that is it's saying that's deep.
Yeah.
They deep, man.
Some shit you just ain't never heard. So it's deep.
That's deep.
And then what?
And they don't understand though. They just saying it's deep, yeah, it's deep, but you don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, deep fish. You know?
Yes.
There's no one in. Man, the Nation of Islam is not bringing understanding. I'm sorry.
At all.
Well, I'm not sorry. Make no sense, yo. The head man of the nation, so to speak, there is no nation of Islam. There's no such thing.
No.
There's no people that came from a man named Islam or the seed of Islam. You know? But he's dealing with this, they deal with the scriptures. They don't even deal with the Quran.
Right.
Read that book if you want, you be bugged out. Or read it and believe in it. And they don't change. Well, praying 5 times a day. But most of them Jake don't really be devoted like that.
Nah.
Not in America, you know. You have some, but they really don't really. Only thing they do, they'll stop eating pork.
Yeah.
And they'll start for a minute help sell them bean pies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's get Revelation started.
It's Revelation 11 and 8.
Series of verses. Go ahead.
Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Right, just going into what we've been going into. That we lost our identity, man, and that's a sign that we're in the last days.
Yeah.
You know? So what's the scripture talking about? Their dead bodies shall lie in the great city.
Yeah.
What you see before your very eyes.
Yeah.
Bugged out so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans walking around in a spiritually dead state.
Yeah, go ahead. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Let's back it up to what it was at, man. All right, we had to get to this. This had to happen first. All right, this is part of us getting closer to the day of the Lord, man. All right, before we have to lose our heritage, our culture, and everything that we foreknew. All right, that was part of prophecy, man. And that show that part is already passed, man. Now we're in the time of awakening, and it's coming to a close now. Right?
Bring that up.
It's Proverbs 21 and verse 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
Yep.
That's it. So that's what happened it happened to the whole nation. We were all walking with no understanding. So what we were spiritually dead.
Yep.
And the masses are still spiritually dead.
Yes.
And want to remain that way. Let's go back.
Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Right. It's not this that great city. Get up Revelation 17. Gotta get you first. Yeah, that great city is talking about America.
Damn sure ain't talking about Vatican City.
Verse 18.
Revelation 17 and 18. And the woman,
Well, you know what? Go up to verse 5 say?
Revelation 17 and 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon.
Read verse 4, and then read verse 5, and then jump to verse 8.
Revelation 17 and 4. It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Right, all this is symbolic talk. Okay, talking about this woman that was decked in gold, arrayed in scarlet color, right? And had a cup in her hand, full of abomination. And she's riding upon that beast, that seven-headed beast with 10 horns, which is talking about NATO and the EU and America is the whore that's sitting on top of the nations, okay, controlling them. And unified, they form pretty much the world power, the superpower of the earth. See the beast, NATO, the EU, and America. Go ahead.
So that's what's coming through Russia right now. Russia and NATO and America are beefing right now. On the wars and talks, rumors of wars is going on. That's what that beast, man.
What they talking about making Ukraine and part of NATO, and
Right.
there's another one too.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, that's going.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
going. We gonna see how that. Yeah, we're gonna see how that play out because they supposed to be part of the U.S. USSR.
Yes.
There's no more, but the scripture talking
The books.
Ezekiel
Right.
38. The Most High putting books in Gog and Magog shop,
Yeah.
meaning we're taking them back to the old way.
Yeah.
Okay, the USSR. So what the hell NATO got business doing trying to take one of their
Yeah,
members?
yeah. And then you see what's happening in Kazakh, how you say it, Kazakhstan? Kazakhstan. You see what's happening. They, bro, there's different type of protests out there. They don't give a shit, man. Them people that in the police and the army or the military, they don't care neither. They opening fire on just regular civilians, man. People protesting. It ain't like I ain't find no rubber bullets. They shoot to kill. And they president already gave the order. These people that's protesting against this government are terrorists. Put them to death. Period.
If I can add to what the president of Kazakhstan was saying and Putin, they said that wasn't residents or citizens of Kazakhstan.
Them
That was
is
mercenaries
outsiders.
sent
Exactly.
from America
Cool.
and NATO to
Yep.
come over there and
Yep.
do that.
Yep.
You see, and that's why Putin said, look, we shouldn't have killed because this is none of our people.
Yep.
Y'all setting us up trying to set up a coup. So that's why they're going to push Russia to a corner. And it's supposed to be June of this year. That it's the NATO meeting. And that's when they having talks about making it official of Ukraine getting up in there in June. Putin said, if you do that, then that's the red line. That's the red line. So they get pressure from the left side and the bottom.
Yep.
You know? And it might happen, you know, it's like that. Now, you know how the Lord said how these nations go turn against America, those who eat the bread with you. The Lord might have it
Well,
with,
yeah, you talking about Obadiah?
you know, but certain people, you know, try to make alliances. They may have talks with America and switch on, you know, switch on the
Man,
last
eventually,
They go
it's gonna
ahead.
happen.
Yeah.
You know?
It's gonna happen because the scriptures say they that be confederate with each other. The beast is gonna the NATO members and EU members. A lot of them not and they not happy with America.
No.
You know.
Hell no. And they don't like they don't like the so-called American way of life, the so-called American way of living, the standard of the way that people in America live and conduct themselves, man. They see it's all out of order
Yeah,
over
we
here.
yeah. Talk about that woman, right?
Yeah, full of wood.
She had the cup. She telling she passing the cup around the world.
Yeah, getting everybody drunk.
Yeah, getting everybody drunk.
Off that Cisco.
Off of abomination. Tell you what's in the cup. It say in the cup is full of abomination. So she's giving everybody, this whore that gave everybody that wine. Tell the world that it's piss in this cup.
Yeah.
You know?
You would be seen.
Wow.
They said, nah, this is aged quality wine. Drink up. It's gonna make you feel better. Make your life better.
That brother was speaking on the opposition that's coming, all right, from Putin. All right, knowing that this is just a coup being set up, that's showing that Esau is losing his power, man. The same tricks and shit that he used to use to take over a nation or a country ain't working no more, man. That's why the scripture in Joel 18 talk about the steps of his strength shall be straight. All right, it's getting more difficult for him to pull off the things that he used to do with ease, man.
Venezuela. They tried to set up that dude, I can't remember his name. Shit. But anyway, America was trying to put in a president, and they still trying to say that he's really the president of Venezuela, and they not having it, man. Everybody see straight through your bullshit, man.
Right.
The so-called gigs are up.
Yeah, the nation that's drunk in your wine,
Yeah.
and then now the nation's a man.
And you see what they do. When you don't go along with their agenda, then they start slapping all these sanctions on your country. Well, Russia said they didn't have enough. There's enough of sanctions. It's enough. They didn't have enough.
Yeah.
Think about how stupid that is. Think about how crazy that is from America. They are, look, America, Russia and America really don't get along already as it is. You know, that's why they gotta try to have talks. So America want to go and set up shop in Ukraine on Russia borders and under their border in Kazakhstan.
Yep.
Why would Russia allow that? America wouldn't let Russia go set up shop in Alaska or, you feel me, or Cuba. So
Nobody
they
else
allow
does
that.
these things in the area. Nobody else is doing these things. Even with the military, U.S. military bases
Yes.
and U.S. embassies all over the globe, man.
Yeah. But then,
If any other nation tried to attempt to do the shit that America is doing, then they gonna call them out as a terrorist.
Yep.
They breaking international. Look, that's crazy. Esau, the nations is fed up with your shit, man.
Right. What they had, the Geneva Conventions, and America don't even hold up to them laws, man. They drone strike, they kill innocent civilians. They don't give a shit. Whatever they gotta do to push their agenda, they do it. They don't even uphold. They don't even keep their own laws, man.
Right. Get
Warfare on
that.
their own people.
Psalms 50 and 16.
Yep.
And we gonna bring you, bro. I know the Lord, she has been a golden share.
You already closed it.
Go ahead.
in Psalms chapter 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statute?
Right. Who is the wicked? Esau. Yeah, Esau is the wicked. Which is the so-called white man according to the scriptures. That scared Jake when they hit him.
The CB had to chime on.
They heard you say it,
And that's according to Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Also Job 9 and 24. Okay? Through the process of elimination, all fingers point at one person.
Straight up.
Or one group of people.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It says,
Mainly they elites, man.
Thanks, yeah.
And a lot of these Joe Six Packs, they know about the elites, man. They know, oh man, we gotta, like Alex Jones, we gotta do something to get this country back and blah 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 and all this different type of shit. And we always make the point. Alex Jones or any of these low-level Edomites, they call themselves patriots and all that shit.
Right.
Y'all will flip-flop and switch with these elites without even, if they said come sit in one of these seats, they'll run over you trying to get there, man.
These lower-level Edomites that get to be CEOs of companies.
Yes.
You know how much dirt they's going on at the top up there? And then, the other people in high upper management that's
Yes.
it's all kind of corrupt shit going on.
Yes.
So they doing it on a on a lower level. You know, they don't have that power to do it on a global scale.
Right.
But they are doing shit on a global scale. They know they fucking over people on the planet,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You know? Cause they following order. The industry's really at the top. They pretty much following order.
Yeah. Look, this the type of music we want these niggas listening to in
Right.
these hoods. They make sure it's about all types of negativity.
Advertisement.
Woo!
When you get into marketing
Yes.
for this big corporate marketing and
yes.
advertisement,
Yes.
this is what we want to put on the cereal box to
Yes.
get these children to go down the aisle and say, I want that.
That's
Mama."
what I want to hear.
Right.
That's
Right.
a promising career. If you in these high-level companies, if you in the advertising department,
Slogans.
you see slogans, advertising, it's all witchcraft. You
Yeah.
sit there and you got a board of people sitting in the office coming up with ideas on how to draw the people in,
How to sell
get
that.
Yeah, how to sell.
And they're marketed specifically to different.
Right.
They got different target groups. They got a show called Blackish with Anthony Anderson. That's what he does in the show, and they show that. Yeah, he's into marketing,
Yeah. Okay, we want to target the urban community.
and that's why they got him in that company that he's in on the show, just so he can target Jake. What do the people like?
Okay, they like grape Kool-Aid and
Yes, popping champagne, and yeah.
all that.
That nigga shit. Yes. The chicks. All the damn shit.
Where we at in the future?
Psalms 50.
Yeah, let's bring that out.
Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction and catchest my word, seeing that thou hatest instruction and catchest my words behind thee.
Right, and this man is so bold, or he hates instruction so much that he throws his own laws behind his back.
Yeah. And just make up shit as he
Right.
goes.
Right.
Well, we gotta revive this law.
Yeah. Cause I just broke all this shit. I'm changing to where this
And
works.
revising and appealing. Well, there is no
Yeah.
revising and appealing with the laws
That's
that the
right.
Most High set up.
It's perfect.
Yep.
Perfect law.
Sure is.
You know?
We don't need no tweak.
And Esau,
Yeah.
look, that's what's coming on the planet Earth. And this earth is going to be reformed. All right, the change is coming. Change is going to be with our Lord Yahweh coming back to straighten your ass out.
Right.
Straighten you out by putting you in slavery. That's the
Yep.
only way you can straighten the
Yep.
Edomite out is put them
Hey.
to death and put them in slavery.
Ain't that what they do us?
Right.
What they call it? Correctional facilities?
Yeah,
Yeah,
correctional facility.
we coming to bring to correct your ass.
Shit.
The
reason
outside
Jake-
coming to
yeah,
correct your ass.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, finish the revelation.
Yeah.
Call wisdom, another direction.
Psalms 50 and 17 again. It says, seeing thou hatest instructions and castest my words behind thee, when thou sawest a thief, then thou considerest with him.
Meaning this man is in bed with thieves.
Yes.
He like to, if he see a thief, oh, let me come help you.
Yeah.
Let me get on it. Let me get in on this
How
thing.
much can I get out of this?
Right.
And then really what it is, when he looking to not only get in on the, get in bed with the thief, but overtake the thief.
Yep.
Stab him in the
Greedy,
back and take
yeah.
all
Yeah,
his
yeah.
shit.
Doesn't have enough.
That scene in the movie, like they got heists and big robberies at the end when they get the spoil.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they hop out the back and just pop, kill
Yeah.
everybody
Walk
else.
off
Yeah.
the
Take it
bag.
off for itself.
2 million wasn't good enough. You need the whole
Just split
thing.
between both of them. That's just not enough for me.
So we had
It says, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers.
yes, spiritual adultery, okay? Adultery as far as you know, a man committing adultery against another man by sleeping with his wife, that's what gets pushed here.
Yes.
Spiritual adultery is, Esau is all about pushing spiritual adultery. Yet this is supposed to be a God-fearing country, right?
Right.
Well, that's all bullshit.
Right.
This is the president swearing on the Bible. That's just say enough. Well, if he's swearing in on this book, that means this must be the rule book.
But
Right.
you can't have that book in school. And you can't pray in school, but your leader of the so-called free nation, of the free world, swear in on it. And if you go to court, you swear in on it. And all these different levels of government, you swear in on the Bible. You can't pray in school, you can't bring the Bible to school. No religion at school, so-called religion.
Right.
It don't make no damn sense.
Right. Well, what about you can be in the Islam? That should be outlawed.
Should be.
But it's saying that this man is about adultery.
If you
Law coexist.
Yeah, right. If you voting, why would you vote for a man you know is gonna, and you a Muslim? Why would you vote for a man that's gonna swear in on the Bible? None of this shit makes sense.
So that's why this place is called Babylon.
It's great.
Great confusion. You know what? Let's go back to
Yeah,
Revelation.
yeah.
Because we ain't finished that.
Uh-huh.
Revelation 17.
Start at 4, then 5, and then jump to 8.
Revelation
And
7.
then we're gonna go back to the Revelation. Right
Revelation 17 and 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones
Right.
and pearls.
there. That scarlet color and decked with gold represents rulership.
Yeah.
Was they are the royalty of the earth, okay, right now. But they about the scripture say the Most High is going to leave them with nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
And 8 kings and rulers is going into slavery and
They counterfeits.
Yeah.
They really peasants. Going back to I believe that word Bauer. The
Yeah,
the
yeah.
elites, the Rothschild, they go back to they really Bowers. Their last name, Germany. And then they changed their name to, I think Amsterdam Bauer changed the name to Red Shield. And that's where you get Rothschild out of that.
Yeah.
And that word Bauer means peasants, because they really are the peasants of this earth.
Yep.
We're the royalty of this planet.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Revelation 17 and 4 says, and having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness
Yeah, what
of
is the-
fornication.
No, it's not slack. What's the abominations? The LGBTQ,
Yeah, yes.
the abominable acronym being not only just happening, but being forced down the people's throats.
Straight up.
Right.
Take this, drink it. See, Esau is doing with that cup. Esau is doing the way he did the slaves on the ship.
That funnel.
Took it, taking funnels and would bust your teeth out. Then they're like with a what you call them,
Oh, the chisel.
like a chisel punch,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
knocking you down, busting your teeth out your mouth, then shoving the fucking funnel down your throat and shoving slop down your throat. But that's what Esau is doing with that cup full of abomination. He forcing it down. I thought that was how it was legal for the children,
Right.
for money.
Right.
Esau don't give a damn.
Yep. And they starting off in the pre-K, the kindergarten, the first grade. When you're young and impressionable, they bring it. First of all, the large majority of these so-called teachers, they are so-called liberals, you know, and they want to teach these children tolerance to this shit and teach them. What is you teaching
okay.
a child? Yeah, it's okay. What is you teaching a child about sexuality for?
Yeah.
First of all. But see, a lot of the people that they children go to these schools, they go into these board meetings and they go into these PTA meetings and they raise the sand, man. Because they see this agenda that's being forced, but that's your democracy.
Yes.
That's your democracy at work.
That's more the wine and that abomination in that cup.
Yep. That's what you voted for. That's what you believe in. You believe in America, that's what you pledge an allegiance to.
Right.
So deal with it. That's
Stay in
condemnation.
school ass shit.
Yeah.
Staying in school is destroy you in this
Yeah.
place. Say no to
Right.
drugs. Drop out of school. Dropping
Yeah.
out of school is really the best thing you probably could do in this fucked up ass place.
Yes.
They had the whole Say No to Drugs campaign, but then they try to diagnose all these damn kids with autism or ADHD and then put them on drugs.
Wow.
Riddle.
Yeah.
Really?
Nancy Reagan was the one that pushed that slogan, just say no, but yet her husband was in bed with the Contras,
Right.
the Iran Contras.
Right,
Ain't that
hypocrites.
something? Bringing drugs into the hood. You can watch the Freeway Ricky Ross
Right.
documentary
Or the show Snowfall.
or Snowfall.
What's the name of that guy? Gary Webb?
Yeah.
Be the one that, blew the cover on the information?
Yes. Ain't that hypocritical?
Yeah, the name of the movie is called, it's really about him, but it's going into how that whole country's, Nicaragua.
Yeah, freaking fire.
Yeah, so all that stuff. I think it's called Don't Hate the Messenger.
Don't kill him.
Yeah,
Don't kill the messenger. That's
Yeah.
what it is. All right, let's go back to Revelation 11.
Revelation 17
I'm sorry.
and 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Right, because at one point in time it was going to be a mystery. It was a mystery of who it was talking about.
Right.
You understand this is symbolic talk, but who is this? What does this represent? Well, we breaking it down now.
That's right.
Okay? Starting with our apostles and their teachers, and to all the men coming up under the doctrine they teach. You know?
Yep.
Which is really the doctrine from the heavens.
Yes.
Doctrine from Yahweh Shem Yahweh.
Yep.
All right? They said that this woman, she was royal, right?
Yeah.
Money, got a golden cup full of shit in it. And upon her forehead, it had Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, the abomination of the earth. The abominations of the earth.
Yes.
This is on her forehead.
Yes.
And we see it. This is talking about America. So it's telling you that Babylon the Great is that whore.
Yes.
So jump to verse
Revelation.
Damn.
no, let me
I heard the word.
I said the word whore. No, I heard that.
You feel guilty.
Yo solo voy a bajar tantito para estarlo bien.
Revelation 17 and 18. And the woman which thou sawest,
Right, the same woman that's on the scarlet colored beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
it says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city.
I meant to say that you say she's dressed in purple, right?
And Scarlet.
And scarlet. Okay. All right, cool. You got it.
It says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Right, so going back to Revelation 11 and 8, that great city is talking about that whore. It's talking about Babylon the Great. The whore that had Babylon the Great written on her forehead. That's that great city.
Yes.
So let's go back there.
Revela-
We'll fit this verse and we're going to wrap it up.
Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Right. See, this is the main label on this place is Sodom and Egypt.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the big thing. How you think the other nations look at this country knowing that this is the place where homosexuals dwell?
moles and bows. And so it's cool. It's basically you an enemy of the state if you against that.
That's right. They got mowing boat, so-called churches. They got a mowing boat Bible.
Pastors and preachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, you go to the so-called church, man. Your choir director 9 times out of 10 is a group.
Now, where I'm from, growing up, he was the choir director, but now he the mayor of the city. And you're men are flaming. We knew that when we were small,
Yeah.
you know, you know, but
Yeah.
you never. But now he the mayor of the city though. Shit
Ain't
crazy.
that something?
Yeah.
Shit crazy.
Only in America.
Only in America, like Don King.
Right.
Same choir director become mayor of the city.
Right. And then it says Sodom, well, it says the great city was spiritually.
Yeah, yeah.
See, not Sodom, not Egypt, but spiritually Sodom and Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah, this place got obelisks, or how you say it,
Obelisks.
erected all over the place.
Yes.
You know?
Cleopatra's Needle is in New York City, New York, in the city park. The original thing, the original needle. Why would they bring that from Egypt and make it over
In New York.
here? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Really the capital of the world.
You got Pasadena, Independence Parkway.
Yeah.
When they had the last battle, the Battle of San Jacinto, they got the tall, that's the world's tallest obelisk.
That's how you say, Watazarian. It means to bind. The sons of Ham. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
And you know, because the last time all 12 tribes was oppressed together was in Egypt when we came out. They're saying in Egypt we all oppressed together again, all 12 tribes.
Yeah.
It's that new pharaoh, the so-called white man, as Apostle Paul described in Romans, the 9th chapter.
Y'all brothers got something else? Well, the Lord willing, you know, edification went out. We're going to wrap it up. And once again, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone once again. Peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.